Jimmy Dore of the Jimmy Dore Show has left the Young Turks. Now, actually, I had done a video before he had made his statement. It was after he had made his statement saying, "Hey, tomorrow I'm going to be doing an announcement about my ties to outside organizations." And I did a video saying, "Yo, dog, I think he's saying he's leaving the Young Turks." And I explained, all the different reasons why I believe so. It turned out that I did end up having an educated guess that was correct, and he did leave the Young Turks. Now, I showed you guys a little tiny clip that I could get because that was all I could record from his live stream yesterday. He posted a full 7-minute video today. I'm not going to show the whole video. I'm just going to show certain parts of this. But Jimmy Dore did explain why he left the Young Turks. Well, he doesn't really explain why he left the Young Turks. He does a little bit, and we'll get into that actually. But mostly he gives thanks and does a very nice parting. So check this out.
And covered the primary, the caucuses, and I learned so much, and I wouldn't have done any of that stuff if it wasn't for the Young Turks, and I wouldn't have learned how to do it if it wasn't for the Young Turks. And my friend Ben Mankiewicz, who was gave me a lot of support and comfort when I didn't know what I was doing, and and I learned a lot from Cenk Uygur, like how to do this. Like, he's a force, and he opened my eyes to a lot of things. So it was real. It was a real great time. It was a real great time, and I'm real grateful to the Young Turks and to Cenk. And so I'm quitting, and we're moving on. And so I'm not going to work with the Jimmy Dore Show is taking up all my time, and we want to tour more. And that's really, really what I love doing. I do this. This has enabled me to then go out now and tour. And that's what I really like doing. I like live performing. I like meeting people. And there's nothing more fun than a room full of progressives getting together at a Jimmy Dore show, realizing, hey, there's a lot more people like us. And so it came time to move on, to move forward, and it's with a heavy heart. I hope they appreciate the work that I did at the Young Turks, and I thank them for providing me a platform to do it. And I was real proud of the work we did. Real proud. We did a lot of great work over there, and I met a lot of great people. Stephen Cohen.
The crew on Aggressive Progressives.
The whole crew
Malcolm,
on Aggressive Progressive,
Steve-O.
Malcolm and Steve-O, and everybody who helps put that show together. But just all the guests and all the great people, and the Bill Binney, and we met so many great people, and we did really good work that I'm really proud of. And we provided platform for Aaron Matei when he didn't have one anymore in a video platform. And he went on to win an award for his reporting on Russia, or Russiagate. So that was my big announcement. I teased yesterday that we're going to make a big announcement. And so it's just time. And it's just time to move on. And, honestly, nothing can take away the memories that I had at the Young Turks. It was really an exhilarating experience. It was really a meaty, full-bodied experience that I was privileged to be a part of. So I really thank Cenk and the Young Turks, and I wish them all the success going forward. And hopefully we can collaborate on something worthwhile in the future.
And Jimmy, what about the Jimmy Dore Show? Does that continue? Because people are trying to figure that out right now.
Oh no, this show's not going anywhere.
How come?
So no, I own this show. No, so they own used to be the Young Turks own this channel, and then but I own it now. So I purchased it from them. So this used to be theirs. It's not. So I bought it. I officially quit working I was only an employee for the Young Turks actually for a year. I was always just an independent contractor. But when Steph quit her job as a teacher, I became an employee so I could get health care, and that was for last year. And then in December, I decided we're going to try and get health care another way, and I quit being an employee. and for a lot of reasons. But you know me, I'm not a corporate guy, right? So
Yeah, so watching this was pretty sad, to be honest with you. I mean, you guys probably felt the same way, or just this kind of feeling of sadness because, just watching Jimmy Dore, you could tell Jimmy Dore he really had a lot of good memories at the Young Turks, and it's obvious that he kind of feels some type of way because, he was on a network that he was so good with for so long, from like 2014 to until the Trump election hit, the general election. That's when everything went haywire. That's when everything went totally wrong because they completely disagreed. That really ruined everything. And as he said, he said before that he really liked the Bernie election because everyone was on the same team. They were rooting for the same person. And so there was no tenseness. There was no, massive opposition and things like that, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So it's just sad, man. And he got choked up towards the end, and he was like, take question. You could tell he got choked up, and then Abby Martin and the way his wife responded were obvious ways of like trying to kind of console him for being, who's being sad. It's just sad to watch, man. And I thought I'd talk about, me first watching Jimmy Dore. I first found out about Jimmy Dore obviously from the Young Turks show. Now I first started watching the Young Turks back in 2014. And he was on the show. He would be on the show a lot in around 2014 time. So they would be on. I sort of miss those panels and episodes where they'd be talking about, Bush and different things, and Obama, and they'd have like the panel of it would be Jimmy Dore, Jank, and John, and Ben, and Anna, and it would just be those are really cool episodes certainly. And so it's sad to see him go. He already wasn't really doing the main show anymore, to be honest. He was just kind of doing his paywalled show, which is called The Aggressive Progressives. And so, honestly, it's just sad to see him go. Obviously, they were on a collision course at this point. Now, Jimmy Dore says, this is what Jimmy Dore says. Jimmy Dore says that, he's gone independent, and he says that he's now able to do more live shows and tour around. Now, I certainly don't believe that's the reason why Jimmy Dore left the Young Turks. And Jimmy Dore kind of throws in a little shot there by saying, I'm not a corporate guy. And that's the reason why. He had too many disagreements with the Young Turks. And I think here's what I'm curious about. And let me know in the comment section what you think what was the straw that broke the camel's back? That's my question. I am, convinced. Some people were bringing this up. They were saying, it might have been Tulsi Gabbard and her whole situation with TYT and Anna Kasparian. That's certainly possible. And by the way, Jimmy Dore was whining about how Tulsi Gabbard didn't contact him to come on his show despite her going on the Young Turks, which goes to show you like how much of an ego Jimmy Dore has and how childish he is. But anyways, so that may have been the straw that broke the camel's back in that situation. I'm really not sure. So I want to know what your guys' thoughts are as to, what was the straw that broke the camel's back. But, I do hope that Jimmy Dore goes on in the future. Now, the topic of this video is, here's an interesting thought I had. Seeing the very nice, well-hearted send-off that Jimmy Dore had with Cenk Uygur, because Cenk Uygur sent out a couple of tweets on Twitter saying, I know he left, but, you didn't know this about him, and he was a great guy, and he helped the Justice Democrats and AOC get off the ground, and he was just a really good guy. And then Jimmy Dore was like, oh, thanks, man. And Jimmy Dore obviously was given a ton of thanks on his show. But this reminds me of Dave Rubin and the Young Turks. Now, why does it remind me of that? The reason why it reminds me of Dave Rubin and the Young Turks is because Dave Rubin and the Young Turks had a very good send-off. You can go watch the video right now. It's very happy, very nice, very excited type of send-off, And so it just kind of reminded me of that because they had a really nice send-off, and, Dave Rubin started calling out the Young Turks. The Young Turks remained silent for, I want to say, like 2 years after Dave Rubin would be calling out the Young Turks. Here's my prediction, okay? I do believe that Jimmy Dore and the Young Turks send-off is going to be the same way. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that Jimmy Dore is going to turn into a right-wing hack or that he's going to start getting money from the Koch brothers. What I mean is, I think that, and the parallel that I'm drawing here is, I believe that Jimmy Dore and the Young Turks, despite having a very nice, well-hearted, good, nice send-off, I do believe that at the end of the day, they will end up beefing pretty hard. Now, I don't know if the Young Turks will take part in the beef or not, but Jimmy Dore, and hear me out here, Jimmy Dore is a very emotional guy. He says a lot of crazy stuff off the cuff. But Jimmy Dore will start lumping in the Young Turks with all the other MSM. He's going to start saying that basically they're corporate, and he's going to start lumping them in with MSNBC and different mainstream media organizations like that. And because of his deep-held disagreements with them on Russiagate, he will start doing that, and that's what's going to end up happening. That's certainly what I believe is going to end up happening. So that is why I think there's a parallel to be had between that send-off and this send-off. I believe that this one will end up going bad. This may not happen this year, may not happen next year, but actually it'll probably happen in the second year, I'm thinking. There'll probably be like some peacetime as there was with Dave Rubin and the Young Turks, although Dave Rubin started taking shots at TYT pretty quick. But eventually